Hey there. Welcome to another day of mobility with 5 Pillar Mobility. Let's start by finding a nice comfy spot on your mat and take some attention to your breath. And as you focus on your breath, imagine breathing out anything that's been bothering you, any stress, anxiety, breathing out any physical tension. Just imagine breathing it all out and letting it float away. And we'll start to slowly shape that breath into a nice relaxing rhythm. Generally, when we slow that breath down, it helps slow our mind down, which helps slow our body down. As you breathe in that air, let's direct it deep into that diaphragm. Feel that belly rise as the air comes in, and slowly let it all out, breathing through the nose if you can. Today's routine, we're focused on the shoulders and the trunk. So we'll take a few targeted breaths. On your next couple of breaths, feel your head sink heavy into your mat. Feel yourself relax through your neck, your traps, and then down into your pecs, your shoulders. Just let it all go to sleep. Let's take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. We'll grab that lacrosse ball and we'll take our attention into your left side T-spine. So the thoracic spine extends all along your ribs. So let's start with a search along the length of your ribs and look for tension on the left side of your spine. Any muscles that feel tense or restricted, knotted. Let's give some attention to those areas. Search for what needs attention most. And once you've found your area of focus, decide how that focus is going to go. Do we want to roll on that ball today? Are we going to roll side to side, front to back? Are we going to get into an overhead position? These are all variables you can play with and experiment with to feel out what feels right today. As always, use the videos as a guide, a starting point, and let your body's feedback help you fine-tune exactly what your body needs today. Let's take one more breath on this side. We'll slowly sigh with that breath, and we'll shift our attention to the right side. And if you found a good spot on the left, you might find that same area is tight on the right. And if it's not, feel free to keep searching. And once you've found your area of focus on this side, settle in. Take your attention back to your breath. Do your best to sync your breathing with that target area. As you let go of that air, imagine letting go of tension through that T-spine. Just imagine all that tension just floating away. Maintain that nice pace and shape of breath that helps your mind relax. It can be helpful to count the pace of your breath. Just count the duration on the inhale. Count for a brief hold. Count the exhale. Count for a brief hold. And pick a nice manageable number to start with if you're new to counting your breaths. And if you find counting your breaths adds any kind of anxiety or stress, don't bother counting. Just follow a natural rhythm of breath that helps you relax. Let's take one more breath here. We'll sigh out that breath and shift our attention to a segmental T-spine. Release. So grab that foam roller if you got one. If not, you can improvise with the lacrosse ball. And what we're going to do here is move that foam roller along the length of your thoracic spine and just try to move one segment at a time. Think about bending your whole spine over a single point. And any points that feel restrictive, give some extra attention there. It can be helpful to keep your core locked in, keep your pelvis in place. We're not bending through your lower spine. It can be useful to move your arms overhead to add a bit of weight, to extend through that single point, and also bias that overhead position. And all of these options are just that. They're just options. They're there for you if you want them or need them. They're not required. This is your routine, which you're supposed to cater to your specific needs. Just feel it what feels right today. Concentrate on getting that nice relaxed headspace, getting as passive as you can through your whole body. Let's take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath, and we'll shift into a thread the needle on the left side. So from tabletop, let's reach your left arm in between your right hand and your right knee. And our focus is still on that thoracic spine. So think about bending through your mid-back as we move that arm through and thread the needle. You may not feel a very intense stretch here, and that's okay. Just settle in. Trust the process. Get comfy. Find that level of stretch that feels right today. And in about 10 seconds, we'll gently get active by attempting to reverse this twist. Attempting to twist that left arm back to the left and resisting. And let's go ahead. Starting nice and easy. Imagine trying to twist that left arm back through to where you started, using your mid-back muscles, ramping up that tension as we go. Big squeeze here to finish. 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse, activating through that mid-back to twist that left arm further through into that stretch, using that core, ramping up that tension as we go. Finish with a big squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax. Nice and passive. Quick scan through your whole body. Get passive. At as many muscles, as many segments of your body as you can. Just submit to the position. Focus on that diaphragmatic breath. Let's take one more good breath here. And as we sigh that out, we'll switch to the right side. So again, from tabletop, reaching that right arm through. Reaching as far through as is comfortable today. And once you're into your position, settle back on your breath. Direct that air deep into that diaphragm. Follow that nice pace and rhythm of breath that helps you relax. Taking a scan through your body. Anything that's tight, just let it go. Relaxing through your face, your head, your neck. Relaxing your legs. Let's take one more breath here and we'll start to get active. And as we get active, imagine twisting that shoulder back out to the right side. And let's go ahead, starting with nice, easy tension. Using those mid-back muscles to try to rotate out of the stretch. Ramping up tension to finish. 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Attempting to rotate that right arm further into the stretch. Using the core muscles, ramping up tension. Let's finish with a big squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax. nice and passive. Let's run through a quick checklist. Is that face tight? Are those traps tight? Are your arms tight? Is your mid-back tighter than it needs to be? Your hips? Anything that feels tense, just imagine breathing out that tension. Let's take one more long, slow, deep diaphragmatic breath here. We'll sigh out that breath, and we'll shift ourselves into a puppy stretch. So for a puppy stretch, we want your hips roughly above your knees. Thinking about letting your chest and neck drop right towards your mat. Target that mid-back area, a little bit of shoulders, but our main focus is through that mid-thoracic section of your spine. And with every breath, imagine getting a little more passive through that target area. Just let go of that tension. Nice relaxed headspace. And in 10 seconds, we'll gently get active. As we get active, thinking about crunching your ribs down towards your pelvis to reverse this stretch. And let's go ahead, starting nice and easy. Squeezing through your core. Ramping up that tension as we go. Let's finish with a big squeeze here. Last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Squeeze through that mid-back, attempting to pull that chest and neck closer to your mat, ramping up that tension as we go. Let's give a good squeeze here. Last 5, 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax, nice and passive. Quick scan through your body. Anything that's tense, just let it go. Turn your focus back to your breath. Let that breath calm your mind. Let your mind calm your whole body. Let's take one more long, slow, relaxing breath here. We'll sigh out that breath. And we'll just shift the arms slightly overhead to bias an overhead position. So from table chop, just walking your hands forward. And we'll get into some cat camel. So globally flexing your spine, pulling that mid-back to the ceiling, and then globally extending your spine, pulling that mid-back to the floor, pulling that chin up and tailbone up. Starting nice and easy as we work our way through the minute, just adding a little bit of intensity, thinking about moving through every single segment of your spine, recruiting more muscles each rep. And in these last 15 seconds, let's make those muscles work. Generally, the harder we work here, the more benefit we get. Give a good squeeze into those corners. Let's finish off this last rep you're on. We'll exhale that breath, and we'll shift ourselves into a seated extension. So sitting with your hips on the ground, your legs straight out in front, hands about hip width behind you. You're just going to slowly shift your hips forward until you feel a stretch through those anterior delts and your pecs. We don't need a super intense amount of stretch here. Just a nice light stretch is fine. Working within your pain-free limits. Concentrate on your breath. Submit to this position. Getting as passive as you can in your mind and your body. In 10 seconds, we'll gently get active by attempting to pull your palms closer to your hips. And let's go ahead, starting nice and easy. Attempting to reverse the direction of the stretch, ramping up that tension as we go. Let's finish with a big squeeze here. Last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse that. Imagine pressing your palms further away from your hips, ramping up that tension as we go. Attempting to move yourself deeper into that stretch. Big finish here. Last 5, 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax, nice and passive. Submit to that stretch. Letting go of any tension. Imagine breathing out any tension and stress. Let's take one more long, slow, relaxing breath here. As you sigh out that breath, we'll come up to a kneeling or standing position and do some left shoulder circles. So your first 3 reps, just nice, easy range. Moving your arm through a giant circle well within your pain-free limits. And as you work your way through these reps over the course of this minute, just attempt to carve out a little further into your end range. And really making those shoulders work. Once you pass your ear and work your way behind your head, really make those shoulders work into those corners. Or any other positions you feel like is sticky for you, give that extra attention. Don't rush through this. Whatever feels most restricted, try to spend most time there and really activate those shoulders through those positions. This is really key for adding controlled range of motion and stability and making those shoulders more injury resistant. Take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath and we'll shift to the right side. So starting nice and gentle on this side, feeling out your range. And with each rep, attempting to carve out further into that end range. Working within your pain-free limits, but also making yourself work. Generally, the harder we work here, the bigger benefit we get. And again, working a little extra hard from when you reach the overhead to when you reach behind you. Challenge yourself to find new range here. Last 10 seconds. Let's finish with a big squeeze. And we'll finish off this last circle. And we'll transition into some handcuffs. So let's start with both hands behind your back in the arrest position. And then extend your arms out into a Y behind you. And slowly move your hands down along your midline, trying to keep them as close together as you can. Finishing with them behind your back, close together, and then bringing them up along your back into that internal rotation. And then working your way back up. This is at your own pace. Make those shoulders work for every position. And those positions that you feel like you really struggle with, give yourself some extra time, a slight extra nudge there. Let's finish off this last rep with some good intensity. Squeeze into those corners. And we'll finish off this rep. We'll sigh out that breath. And we'll call it a day. Thanks for joining us here for 5-Pillar Mobility. Hope your shoulders and trunks are feeling great. Hope you enjoyed the session. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.